The saturated fat myth that stuck for 50 years. Let me ask you something. If I told you that the single biggest dietary recommendation of the last 50 years was based on flawed science, would that surprise you? Key point: saturated fat causes heart disease. That idea shaped every nutrition guideline since the 1970s, and in 2026 that entire foundation is being challenged. Multiple new meta-analyses, large, peer-reviewed, gold standard studies, are now telling us that the relationship between saturated fat and cardiovascular disease is nowhere near as simple as we were told. And the crazy part? Most people still haven't seen this update. They're still avoiding butter, still throwing out the egg yolks, still choosing seed oils over ghee because someone told them it was heart healthy. If you're doing keto, carnivore, low carb, or just trying to actually understand how food works in your body, this video is for you. Because today I'm giving you the complete 2026 update on saturated fat, what the science actually says, what's been misunderstood, and what to do about it starting today. Let's go.
Medium-chain fats, the brain fuel, MCT, and coconut oil breakdown. Keto dieters constantly discuss medium-chain saturated fats. Think MCT oil, coconut oil, lauric acid. These fats are completely different from everything else on this list. Medium-chain fats bypass normal digestion. They go directly to your liver, converting into energy almost immediately. No bile, no lymphatic system needed. They go straight into your mitochondria and get burned. MCT oil, on an empty stomach, feels like a shot of clean energy. Physiologically, it truly is. MCT oil rapidly increases ketone production, giving your brain a stable fuel source. Speaking of the brain, this gets interesting. Medium-chain fats increase BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of it as fertilizer for your neurons, supporting memory, learning, and long-term brain health. Lauric acid converts to monolaurin, which has documented antibacterial and antifungal properties. So we're talking about energy, brain health, and also immune defense. Downsides. Guess, too much MCT too fast can cause digestive distress. Start with a teaspoon, not a tablespoon. In some people, certain medium-chain fats can raise LDL. But here's where we need to talk about something important. LDL is not the full story, and I'll come back to that in just a moment. Now let's get into the category that causes the most fear: long-chain saturated fats. Palmitic acid, stearic acid, and one that barely gets mentioned, C15. These fats play structural roles inside every cell in your body. Long-chain saturated fats help build and maintain your cell membranes, support hormone signaling, and keep your mitochondria functioning properly. They are literally the infrastructure of your cells. Without them, things break down. Your hormones go off. Your cell walls become unstable. Your metabolism loses efficiency. But here's the catch, and this is where the real nuance comes in. In the wrong dietary environment, too much palmitic acid specifically can trigger inflammation. But here's the critical point. The fat is not the problem. The environment around it is. More on that in a second. First, let's talk about C15. C15, panaducinoic acid, is an odd-chain saturated fat found in full-fat dairy, especially from grass-fed sources. Emerging research connects it to anti-inflammatory effects, better insulin sensitivity, improved cellular health, and even longevity markers. This is one of the most exciting areas in nutritional science right now. So once again, not all saturated fats are harmful. Some may actually extend your life. Now about LDL, let's have the honest conversation. LDL goes up on some high-fat diets. That's true. But the 2026 science is making a much more important distinction. It's not LDL itself that causes arterial damage. It's oxidized LDL, and LDL becomes oxidized when you combine saturated fat with high sugar and refined carbohydrates, creating an environment of chronic oxidative stress. Saturated fat plus a clean, low-carb, high-fiber diet. Very different outcome than saturated fat plus sugar, seed oils, and processed junk. Same fat, completely different metabolic result. Practical protocol. The 2026 Keto Protocol. What to eat, what to avoid. Alright, let's make this actionable. Information without application is useless. Here is your practical 2026 Saturated Fat Protocol, specifically for keto, low carb, and metabolic health. Step 1. Prioritize fiber. Fiber feeds your gut bacteria, producing short-chain fats. These protect your gut lining and improve insulin sensitivity. Don't skip fiber on keto. Step 2. Use butter and ghee freely. They provide natural saturated fat in a whole food matrix, rich in fat-soluble vitamins, CLA, and butyrate precursors. Ghee is easier on digestion. Step 3. Use MCT oil strategically. It's a tool, not a staple. Use it for cognitive performance, before workouts, or to get into ketosis faster? Start slow, with 1 teaspoon, and gradually build up. Step 4. Choose grass-fed, full-fat dairy. It provides C15, CLA, and a better omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. This is superior to conventional dairy. The food matrix around the fat truly matters. Step 5. Eliminate the dangerous combination of saturated fat, sugar, and refined carbs. This combination creates an oxidized LDL factory. Proper keto avoids this. The takeaway? Your body doesn't respond to single nutrients in isolation. It responds to dietary patterns. Fix the pattern. Remove processed junk. Eliminate the sugar-fat combination. Prioritize whole foods. Saturated fat then becomes a powerful metabolic tool, not a threat. Final verdict. Saturated fat is not the enemy. It never was a single monolithic threat. What matters is the type you eat, where it comes from, and what you eat it with. Short-chain fats heal your gut. Medium-chain fats fuel your brain. Long-chain fats build your cells. And the rare C15 may actually protect your metabolic longevity. The real problem was never the fat. The real problem was always the combination, the sugar, the seed oils, the processed food environment that turns fat from a building block into a trigger for disease. Drop a comment. Were you afraid of saturated fat before watching this? Let me know. Type myth busted if this changed how you think about fat. I read every comment. And if you want to go even deeper, I did a full breakdown on why ghee behaves differently from butter, and why it might actually be one of the best fats for inflammation and digestion specifically. That video is on your screen right now. If this video helped you, share it with one person who is still afraid of saturated fat. They need to see this. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.